Hey, I'm Pixel, and welcome to this explanation of RuneScape's tick system and how it affects movement. As always, read the description in case anything changes or there's something I missed. Let's start with the tick system. In RuneScape, the game's information updates once per game tick. The game tick is 0.6 seconds long, so there are 100 of them per minute. This update interval means that information such as where you are or what you have equipped can only change once every game tick. Let's get into walking versus running, which is important in several boss encounters in the game while meleeing. When you walk, the game changes your position by one tile every tick. You can almost think of this like teleporting you to a new tile. There's no gradual smooth over. In one instant, you're on one tile, in the next, you're on the other. This becomes even more pronounced when you run. Even though the running animation shows you travelling across 3 separate tiles, being the start, middle and end tiles, the game actually simply teleports you between the start and end tile in an instant, on each tick. Your character never stood on the middle tile. The game doesn't even recognize you passed through it. I can demonstrate this for you at Legio Quintus. Now, this behavior is most important when using a Scythe at bosses like Araxor, Grigorovic, and Virago, especially Virago. It is important because you may want to stay outside of their melee distance to, say, in Araxor's case, force him to constantly range you instead of alternating between ranged and melee attacks. But, Pixel Guy, what's staying out of MD got to do with how your character runs? Well, when using a weapon with an attack range greater than 1, your character will run towards your target until you are in range to attack. The emphasis is on running towards your target, instead of running and then walking once you are one tile outside of your attack range. This is an important distinction, because it means that if you are an odd number of tiles away from your target's position, you will always run one tile further than your max weapon range would allow. In the case of the Scythe, or any other weapon with a range of 2, this would force you to run into MD, instead of keep you one tile away. However, walking towards your target will only move you one tile at a time, which will allow you to stay at max weapon range even as the target moves away from you. Which is essential at places like Virago, where being in melee distance during phase 5 in normal mode can negatively impact the progress of the phase, which is why you will see high level players toggling run on or off with melee in this scenario. And this interaction between running and max weapon range happens with all other weapons in game too, it just tends to be irrelevant. This concludes this segment on the tick system. It will keep coming up in other videos, and you'll very often hear other players bring it up in their discussions, so now you hopefully have a slightly better idea of how the game behaves. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.